Hello and welcome to Spectralytics tutorial number 2, image preparation. The purpose of this tutorial is to get prepared to build analysis engines. So you've uploaded imagery into your archive, and now you're going to use that imagery to build analysis engines for future image classifications. So we're going to begin by selecting your images in the left-hand side, and then select an image that's in your archive that you intend to use for model labeling in the next step. So here we'll select field example, and then when you select that item, then you can see metadata about that image. There's also some other functions up here where you can download it if you want to download it to your machine, or if you want to go in and change some of the information that you previously entered and be maybe a little more descriptive or change some of that information, you can edit it as well. Really, we're going to focus on being able to build a spectral index and then also selecting a test region. And we'll go over the reasons for that when we get to it. So, why build a spectral index? Well, if you're going to be labeling pixels and you're going to have to identify certain pixels as having certain qualities, then it's really helpful to build a spectral index that allows you to see certain conditions or certain features that you couldn't normally see if it was just a red, green, blue true color image. So by building a spectral index, for example, an NDVI image, if you've got infrared bands to work with, or even if you don't, if you've only got red, green, and blue, you can still do a greenness index. And then what that will allow you to do is look at these features with a lot more clarity and detail when it comes to labeling. And so you can get the correct labeling in there so you can be a lot more precise with your model development. So building an index is really simple. Just select the Add Spectral Indices tab, and you'll see that we have an inventory of 231 different indices. So for example, let's say we're going to build a greenness index. So we're going to just enter in a key term here, green, and then it's going to come back and show us all of the indices that have green built into them. So in this particular case, we're going to look for that greenness index. So here it is, a green leaf index. You can see it on the top. We're going to select this, and then we're going to configure that selected index by picking the bands that represent where these bands fall within our image set. So the green band in this particular set is band number 1. The red band is band 0, and the blue band is band 2. So once we've entered in our band information, we calculate the index. It's going to build this for us and then color code it. Here we can see the color code. Now, a couple of fun things we can do here. You can change the color map, so you can give it a different type of color feature here. We'll just select rainbow for now. And then because it's sort of looking at all of your data, in some cases, there's regions where these returns or these colors mean a lot more, and you don't necessarily have to see them all. So you can go ahead and change some of the values here to be a little, to help tease out some of the information that's more informative to you. So we're just going to change this to -1, for example. And let's say we only want to go up to 0.3. So now we can bring out some of the features like you can see down here that relate to greenness. So once you're happy with it, once you've got the colors selected, then you can go ahead and select finalize, and then it's going to save this image back into your archive, so now you have access to it. So this green level index you see over here is this file. Again, that's going to come back to us when we start to do pixel labeling, and we can see a lot more detail about certain pixels that make more sense to us. Now, let's talk about setting a test region. Why this is important is if you're going to use a model, an analysis engine that you haven't used before to classify this image, it makes sense to test it on a piece of your image first, so you don't go through all of the time and expense only to learn that that this analysis engine wasn't right for the type of imagery you're working with. And wouldn't it be great if we could determine that before we expend all that time and energy on the full data set? So we're going to select a test region that we're going to use in the future to test certain analysis engines that we haven't run before. So here's how we build that. You select the button for it, and then it brings up the image where you are now able to build a small box within this image set that'll be saved out. So as soon as you draw a box that has the right size, the boundary turns green, and then you can save that small clip, go down to the bottom of the screen, and then hit Create Sample. So what this is doing is selecting that region of interest, and it's going to save it out as a separate file with all of its band information. If it's multispectral, hyperspectral, all of those bands will be with it. Now it's saved back into your archive, and you can see it here as a test or as an ROI to test analysis engines. So that's it for tutorial number 2, image preparation. You've learned how to select images, view its metadata, edit it if necessary, create a spectral index in case you wanted to expand on certain features that you want to label later on, and then also select a region of interest that you would like to use as a test for a specific analysis engine in the future. Thank you so much for your time and attention, and we will see you on the next tutorial when we talk about building analysis engines. This will be fun.